is a choice that is always in your hands and is no bigger than a penny. The key is to make the choice and keep making it. A special category of relationships, of course, is family. If you have children, you probably already know that they are in many ways your greatest legacy. No matter what the state of the educational system, the single most powerful influence on children will always be the people who raise them. Toss a rock into a pond, and you'll see ripples from its impact spreading out until they reach the opposite shore. The same thing happens in life, only in most cases, you never see those ripples. Everything you do is important. When you smile at a child and encourage him, or scold him and tell him he's no good, in either case, you may see the splash it makes, and you may see the first or second ripple, but the impact goes far, far beyond what you see. You don't see all the ripples. You teach someone to read 10 pages of a good book a day, and you may see how it changes her. But chances are you won't see how it changes her kids, and her kids' friends, and their friends, and their friends' kids. And as these ripples spread out, they grow bigger. For better or for worse, with positive impact or negative impact, even your smallest actions create a ripple effect that has incalculably great impact on the world around you. No doubt you recognize this description of the ripple effect. It's our old friend, the slight edge. Now, take a little time to think about the relationships in your life and jot down a few thoughts about how you might work out your own slight edge plan for your deepening, strengthening, and enriching those relationships. This is perhaps the most personal area of the 5, so they will probably require some thoughtful consideration. Don't feel pressured to restart the audio until you've thoroughly answered a question. This is your life. This is the reason you're reading this book. What are your dreams for your relationships? Be specific and vivid, and write down a timeline. What price will you have to pay? What day and date do you plan to start? What one simple daily discipline will it require? Of all your plans, if you practice the slight edge, the results on this one may well be the most satisfying. The slight edge and your finances. Vince Lombardi wryly observed, "Winning is a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing." It's no accident that our exploration of the slight edge began with the story of a penny doubled. The world of finances is one of the easiest places there is to see, objectively and logically, the power of the slight edge in action. Everyone knows about the power of compound interest, right? Wrong. Everyone thinks they know about the power of compound interest, but most don't, not really. How many really do understand this power? 5%. The ones on the success curve of the slight edge. Remember the Pareto principle as applied to your goals deadlines? 80% of everything you do tends to get done in the last 20% of the time available. There's a similar law at work in most people's finances, only it's worse. It's Parkinson's law, coined by Professor Cyril Northcote Parkinson. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. As applied to personal finances, it goes like this. Whatever I have, I spend. There is some good news here. In the last few years, the common sense of slight edge personal finances has started making a comeback. The 1998 book, The Millionaire Next Door, bucked the trend toward flashier Donald Trump-style how-to finance books, and instead gave example after example of how a cross-section of extraordinarily ordinary people became wealthy without inheritance, without high-paying jobs, without making a killing in the stock market, without any of the usual breakthrough paths to riches, but by doing simple, easy things every day. The first of its 7 rules was, always live below your means. The book became a runaway bestseller. Living below your means is a classic slight edge strategy. I bet you already have some very concrete thoughts about this area. Perhaps you've even been working on this part in the back of your mind ever since you read the story of the wealthy man and his 2 sons. Now it's time to start putting some of your thoughts to paper. and sketch out an initial plan for realizing your financial dreams and goals. Let's get started. You know the drill. After listening to the question, press pause until you've thoroughly answered it. What are your dreams for your finances? Be specific, be vivid, and give yourself a timeline. What price will you have to pay? What is your plan to start? What is one simple daily discipline you will commit to? Those few minutes will change your lifestyle if you apply slight edge principles to that plan. The slight edge and your life. What do you want your life to mean? What we're looking for here are simple little things you can do every day, things that are as easy to do as they are not to do. The key here is not to spend too much time on this. Do the thing and you shall have the power. Go ahead, take pencil in hand and sketch it out. Remember, it's your life. What would you like it to mean? And remember this too, no matter how lofty or long-term your life dreams may seem, gentlemen, this is a football. It starts with a penny. Start finding your pennies. So let's get to it. Listen to the question, push pause, write your answer, and then press restart. What are your dreams for your life? Be specific, be vivid, and give yourself a deadline. What price are you willing to pay? What is your plan to start? What is one simple daily discipline you commit to? Chapter 12. It's a Wonderful Life. The Beach Bum. You may be wondering what happened to Gorgeous George, standing there in his cutoffs at the Orlando Country Club, gazing at the rich and famous and happy and successful. For whatever reason, as happens in so many people's lives, I found myself staring squarely at a fork in the road, a point I now refer to as a day of disgust. That moment of impact we sometimes hit in our lives when we face our circumstances and make a decision to change. In that instant, standing there, sweating in the Florida heat, I came to a moment of decision. I suddenly knew that I'd headed up to here with where I was, what I was, and who I was. Something clicked. The tumblers in the lock fell into place, and I knew that I could never go back to who I'd been only a minute earlier. I knew that for things to change, I had to change. For things to get better, I had to get better. I left the golf course. That following semester, for the first time in my life, I got straight A's. I went on to business school and graduated at the very top of my class. Fresh out of college, I was recruited by Texas Instruments. I worked at TI for 5 years and went to the very top levels of the company. But corporate America wasn't for me. I went back to Albuquerque and started a solar energy company. And at first, it looked like I had indeed made a smart decision. Within 2 years, my company was in the top 20, and eventually, we became the 5th largest solar energy company in America. I was thrilled. I was on top of the world. What I did not yet know was that nothing ever stays the same. Everything is in motion. Everything changes. Times changed, tax laws changed, our industry was hit hard. Before I knew what was happening, I had lost everything, gone back to zero and below, owing more money than I thought I could ever even hope to make again. The lesson. The night my car was towed away, I sat in despair and thought, this just isn't fair. Here I am, after 12 long years of building towards success, at the bottom again. I'm more broke today than when I was Gorgeous George on the beach. 12 years of blood and guts and I was more of a failure than ever. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I couldn't see the logic, the justice, the reasons for any of it. Was life just inherently unfair? Was that it? Was there simply no rhyme or reason for anything? Was there no point in even trying? That was when I began to examine more carefully what had happened in my life. I'd been a college dropout, a beach bum, and a complete financial failure. Also, I've been a straight-A student, a top corporate salesperson, a super-achieving entrepreneur in a cutting-edge industry, and a complete financial success. And all of those had been the same person. So what was the difference? It made no sense. Or did it? For the first time, I began to see that over the years of my roller coaster career, I had gone through a rich sequence of experiences that held the secrets to success as well as to failure. I had proven to myself, beyond any shadow of a doubt, the depths of failure that simple daily errors in judgment could produce. I had also seen what simple daily disciplines could accomplish. I just hadn't quite realized what I knew. It was time to pull away the veil of circumstance and look right at the heart of the matter, to go behind the results and examine the actions, and behind the actions to find the attitudes, and behind the attitudes to discover the thinking that held them there. That was when I began to discover and explore the slight edge. Since that time, I have built some extraordinary businesses and earned more money than I ever dreamed of. I've experienced more joy and fulfillment within my family and other relationships than I knew was possible. I've also discovered new vistas in my own investment, in my own development, in terms of both health and learning. Perhaps most important than all of that is that I've built a philosophy that is grounded in reality, in the way things actually work, not on luck and the mystery of the quantum leap, but on the power of the water hyacinth. I could lose it all tomorrow. It's happened before. I'd survive. But there is something I cannot lose. And with that one thing, I could start from scratch with a penny and